Hi everybody. Hope you're all well. Welcome in here. Hi Ghost. How are you? Been seeing you around here a lot lately. Welcome back. Thank you for the like. Okay. Good. Getting to make coffee and roll up a Denmark tobacco cigarette. Okay. Cool. Hope you enjoy that then. Hi Steve, how you doing? Good to see you. How's your day? Hope it's going well. Hello Michael Bell, how you doing? You're on YouTube 12 to 14 hours a day, that's a lot that. Hi Golden, that might be even more than I am on it. What are you doing on YouTube 12, 14 hours a day? Just wondering. Hello Bonner Beast. Hello Notions. How you doing? Golden Skull. Yeah, how are we doing today everybody? No, I'm not saying that, Notions, no. So I know what it's gonna sound like. No. It's been a great day, 10:50 PM, okay. Hi Diplo. Bonner Beast, not too bad, thank you. James, hello. Anyway, I hope you're all having a good day so far. Hello Boiling Frog. This James person again, just some kind of, I don't know, it's strange. Anyway, is everyone okay? Hope you're all well. If anyone's new here, welcome in. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Invisible, how you doing? Hope you're well. Orthodox, my brother church, and okay, thank you. Yeah. Hope you're having a great day. Hello. No filter for you. Nah, I'm not doing that. Nah, I'm not smoking any of that stuff. I don't smoke anything. Anyway. Well, really, yeah, NHS, okay, whatever. Anyway. Well, yeah. Hello, David. How you doing? Know what? That's good, don't smoke, send it, David, the NHS. Yeah, I just don't want to be doing all that stuff personally, but... Hope you're all having a good day anyway. Hello, Clarissa Moll. Oh, really? What makes you say that? Drinkers and smokers are so... I mean, it's, I can't necessarily say all that. Can you do some burpees real quick, mate? I could do. Yeah, I'm not really in the mood yet right now. It's still a bit early for me, really. I mean, I can do it though. I talk rubbish, alright. Okay. Hello, Sadie. How are you doing? Okay. Some drink to escape. I guess if you feel the need to escape, but then what are you trying to escape from? Yeah, no, but I've not been up that long, so... Yeah. I've not really been up that long, actually, so... For me, it's still early. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It's kind of, yeah. I know it's ridiculous, but I know some people tell me to get rid of it all, but it's all engagement, though, isn't it? Even if it's bad, it's still engagement. Hello, that random Dominican. Oh yeah. Oh, thank you, Shadow. Old Pan says, "I'll do some." Okay, I'll do this thing. Whatever. How about this? Hello, Gun Commando. Oh, really? Hi, Ryan. Oh yeah. It sounds like a didgeridoo. Yeah. Thank you for the likes, everybody. Hit that like button, everybody. I mean, maybe you should do something meaningful with your life. I don't know. What are you even doing here then? Okay, or no, maybe you should try do it then, Hello, Ryan. No filter. Oh, God. Aussie gal. No, it's not exactly like a didgeridoo, no. Hello, Sanjay. I'm doing fine, thank you. How you doing? Hello, Squiggly. Hello, Razor. No, we shouldn't. Anyway, let's just, what you're doing here then? Yeah, no, it's just, yeah. Just get rid of some of the comments, I think. Am I a shepherd? No, I'm not. Sounds cool though, thank you. The hell's going on? Home on the West. What are you saying? Okay. What are you on about? Hello, Mr. K. Silver. How's it going today? L stream dislike, well, go away then, you know? Well, sorry, if you don't like it, just go, you know? We're just here to just be trolls and just be negative, whatever. Let's see you fucking try, you know? Hello, Christopher Meany. How you doing? Nice to meet you. How are you today? Yeah, George Watts. Yeah, I know. It's just we just kind of keep it open and all that. So, George Watts, L, Alan Watts, W. I was actually watching. I was just listening to some Alan Watts stuff last night, talking about the eternal now. Yeah, maybe it's something for you guys to look into. That guy called Alan Watts. Hello, Emily. Oh yeah, you're right, Elsie, aren't you as well? Hello, Surya. If you're new here, welcome. Nice to meet you. Hello, Tracy. Hello, Grok. Alan Watts. Yeah, well, I was just listening to some stuff. We were talking about the eternal now. Yeah. I might try and get into more of his stuff because he's got some interesting stuff. We were talking about like how people taking like photographs of everything, but they're not actually in the moment. They're just thinking about, oh, this might be a good moment to snap, but it's like they're not actually present in that moment. They just, I notice that when I'm on trips and stuff, and people are just trying to find any opportunity to snap a photo, and it's kind of annoying. I'm like, okay, I just want to enjoy the trip. I don't want to have to stop every 5 fucking minutes to like have a photo. Like, it's like people have to fucking, have everything on a camera. It's like, I mean, yeah. But it's one of those things. It's anyway. I hope you're all having a good day today. Anyway, but yeah, it's just kind of annoying when people are like, "Oh, let's stop here and have a photo every 2 minutes or something." You know what I mean? What are you saying, David? So yeah, it's dreadful. What's dreadful? So 47 here. It's about Celsius. Yeah, it must be hot over in Australia at the moment. Yeah. It's been a bit cold here yesterday. Yeah, it's just winter here, so we get kind of coldish sort of winters. We don't usually get a lot of snow though, but it's just kind of cold and wet. Yeah, we don't have snow. It's not quite cold enough for that, but hello, Surya. I'm Optimus Prime. So someone was trying to use some kind of chat up line saying I'm Optimus Fine or something like that, which is just I don't know, it's a bit cringy, but it's a lot of them are quite cringy, isn't it? All those chat up lines and stuff. Oh goodness. Yeah. Oh yeah, Aussie girl. Yeah, where are you from? In Aussie. So whereabouts are you at, Emily? Is it very big country? Oh yeah, you said South. Was it South Australia? Australia is a very big country. It's not as big as America, but it's like quite big. It's one of the largest countries. Yeah. So I think, is it America's like the third biggest? I think Canada's the second biggest, and then obviously Russia's the first biggest. I mean, the biggest. I mean, not first biggest. That sounds stupid. I think Australia's about, if I remember, hang on a sec. So you've got like, I think it's fifth biggest, something like that. I think, actually no, it might be sixth. I mean, I think China's probably fourth biggest, and then I think Brazil's fifth biggest, actually, if I remember. I am your president. I have had a facelift. I have lots of money, and oh, hello there, Tracy. You're from Sydney, Sydney, Australia. Welcome to my live stream. Good day, mate. Yeah, you keep getting English lads in your algorithm. Oh, really? Must be. Australia is similar to Brazil. You mean the size? Yeah. Yeah, what's with all the Aussie females in the chat right now? Hello, American Swede. How are you doing? There's like 3 Aussies right now. Hello, modern human being. I look American. What do you mean I look American? I like your good day, mate. Oh, yeah. Put another shrimp on the barbie. You know, like that Dumb and Dumber thing, isn't it? Put another shrimp on the barbie. Yeah. Has anyone ever seen Dumb and Dumber? It's quite funny. I'm pulling the Aussies in. I just keep doing the Aussie accent. Maybe that'll, make them all tingle or something like that. They probably prefer when I talk British. Sometimes like, oh, I like your British accent. Oh. There's like apparently for like Americans they really like when you hear a British accent or something. I don't know. Hello, Zach Hunter. Oh really? No, I don't do that. Nails. I'll clip them when I wanna clip them. Kevo says I look like Bradley Cooper. Oh really? Not sure about that. Bradley Cooper. Don't think so. Anyway, I hope everyone's well. Hit subscribe if you're new and like the live. Come on, we've got 25 people watching and 10 likes. So yeah. Anyway. So yeah, wanna see a card trick? Maybe I can do a card trick, eh? You like magic? You look like Messi. Messi? Well, you mean Messi with an I, not Messi with a Y. The question on £1 million is not enough to give up work. What do you mean? What do you mean not enough to give up work? Well, £1 million can be if you invest it properly. You can, if you invest in the right things, it can make you a lot of money. So that's what someone was saying in the comments of that, saying they would rather take the £1 million now, invest it. It's going to make you more in the long run. Yeah. Nice. £100,000 is not enough a year. What do you mean it's not enough a year? I mean it's enough to live on. Yeah. Is that nothing to do with genetics? Or what are you talking about? What's genetics? How is 100,000 not enough then? I don't know. £1 million max can get you about 100k a year. Now if you invest it the right way. Maybe for the first years you probably I mean, why would you even want to live in London anyway, where it's so expensive to live anyway? Like you can literally live in another part of the country for like a fraction of the cost, unless you're tied to London. But I mean, for a lot of people, 100k a year would be like, it would be financially free, pretty much. How are you getting more than 10% a year? I mean, you don't actually technically need 10% a year if you understand compound interest. So if you're getting 10% a year, within a few years, it's actually compounds. So then you actually end up with more than 10,000, or more than 100,000 per year. So let's say you do get an average of 10% a year. Within a few years, you're looking at probably getting closer to, 150k per year in that case. So yeah, I think a lot of things are bad in this creation. What are your thoughts? Yes, I do agree. Hello, Fernie, I did. Microplastics. Oh yeah, that's not good, is it? But that means living on less than 10% a year. I mean, let me think. So, if you like wanting to invest in, yeah, that's the thing, is that investment's a long-term strategy, really. I mean, you could probably just like, I mean, there's probably better ways to invest. Okay, if you think it's boring, then whatever. There's probably better ways to invest in like a stock market or something. Like if you started a proper business or something, then if you had £1 million, eventually you can get to a point where you can then just have other people run that business for you and then generate way more than 10% a year. I mean, it depends on what kind of skills you've got and yeah, if you're good at like starting up a business or something. If you had £1 million, then what could you do with that? I mean, yeah. Start off with 10,000, get 10. What do you mean? If you were saying anything about 10%, I mean, if you put all that money in, if you got £1 million and then you eventually get to a point where your compounded interest then gets to way more than where it started. Oh really, David? Not sure about that. Alan Watts would say observe the triggered emotions within your body when someone trolls. Stay grounded and do not respond. Do not feed the trolls, rule 1. Depends, because sometimes by feeding the trolls, it's feeding the algorithm as well. So sometimes, you got to play a game. Hello, Gareth. How you doing? Hope you're well today. What's that? What you're saying? So I mean, S&P 500. Yeah. But a lot of people are afraid of the unknown, I guess. But if you had £1 million, then I'm sure there's better ways to invest, I would argue, but they might be more active and require more upfront work. Like, trying to think of an example, but yeah. But if you had 100k a year, then, like, you could argue that's better. For like, if you just want the money, like a more sustainable, just kind of like without having to do any work at all, without any risk. Not really. Hello, Jenna. Hello, Kaylin Rodriguez. What would you invest in? I mean, that's the question, isn't it? But I think a business would probably be the best, in my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor or anything. Annie, I'm okay. How are you? Oh yeah, the FTSE 100 and FTSE 250. I've heard about some of those. But yeah, the S&P 500, 10% a year roughly, apparently on average. But you could say, well, you couldn't live off. You'd have to invest it all in to get the returns or something, unless you just invested part of that money or something, but then you'd only be getting maybe 5% in that case. It depends on how frugal you're willing to live and how low of an income you're willing to live on for the short term or something, and then to make long-term gains on your money. Depends on each individual situation, I guess. Like if it happened whilst, say, for example, if you could stay with your parents, for example, and not have to like be earning that much money outside of that, then I think maybe the £1 million now would be better for like, that's what I would probably go with. Because I could just like be within the first year already be making about the same amount of money that I would have been making if I'd gone for the 100k per year. If you get me, so a lot of it depends on what's going on at Doncaster. Hello, Fizz. EF, the stock market, you know what it is to lose $1 million at USD overnight. DC, the stock market is based on shite. Yeah, I get that, but obviously if you diversify it, then it's, well, that's the thing why you diversify your portfolio. Because if one company goes kind of down, then you've got some safety net there. And I mean, if you look historically, they tend to be like pretty reliable. Like with things like S&P 500 or whatever, other ones like FTSE or whatever. Like there's, you know, it's a more kind of low risk, low reward, but you know, it's just obviously there's times where it can go down for a while. If you're doing a longer term investment, then that's just something you have to deal with, the peaks and troughs. So no, Zach, I've never had it. Yes, bought my first property at 26 in London. Oh really? Well, that's yeah. Why would you buy it in London where it's so expensive though? Unless you're using it as an investment or something, but London's a very expensive place to live. Like you can literally get almost a mansion in some country or countryside or whatever, somewhere nice, basically is what I'm saying. Versus in London, get a fucking apartment or something, same amount of money. It's crazy, isn't it? In the area where you're just looking at a bunch of fucking flats and you have a shitty fucking view in a lot of cases. I don't know why anyone would want to live somewhere like that, but I guess they have to in some cases for the work or whatever, but not for me. I'd rather take, you know, like a more, you know, it's like a, you know, somewhere quieter with like, yeah. I don't know, I've never done all that grok. So many gens are almost locked out of the house. You mean Gen Z? Yeah, that's what they were saying. Hello, way too crazy. What's going on here? Hello, old man, hang on, let me have a look. What are we saying? If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. How are you handling the risk of what you're on about? Okay, whatever. You can buy a crap hole for even £2 million in London, but York, you can have a beautiful property for less than 1 million. I would say even less. I mean, but York is still expensive compared to other places as well. Like you can get a good place on the outskirts of where I used to live. Like for example, you could get like a friggin' 6-bedroom, 7-bedroom, whatever place, like on a nice outskirts bit and almost countryside, whatever, on the outskirts of Blackburn, where it was like in a nicer area of it, for like less than $1 million. Like this is like big, massive, almost like a mansion type of thing. So yeah. So yeah, York's still relatively expensive compared to a lot of other places. Like, especially in the centre, but outskirts not as much. But where I used to live, Blackburn, you could get a 2-bedroom terraced house for like 70,000-80,000. I mean, and one that needs work doing to it probably about 50,000. So like that's how cheap it was over there. Yeah, but it depends on like what you're moving there for. If you're moving there for certain opportunities or whatever, but so that's yeah. Vegetarian mites, what the hell? Vegetarian mites. Yeah, is everybody okay then? Hope you're all well. Share this out if you can, but yeah. I mean York, but it's just, I've been living here for a while and I'm kind of just getting sick of it already. I don't know, I'm just like the kind of person that I'm going to have to probably just I might end up actually just becoming more nomadic or something. I don't know. Cause I'm just starting to get a bit sick of it all. I don't know what it is. Just yeah. Hope you're all doing well, everybody. Anyway, share this out if you can. All right. Hello, jaded engineering student. I mean, just kind of, hello, space lover. I haven't had lunch. So, we're saying about, loneliness. I mean, I just kind of, I come on live streams and stuff, so I'm like, I don't necessarily feel lonely as such. Hello, Pohan. Oh, really? Yeah, I could go for a holiday sometime. I don't think I would want to live there, but yeah, I could go for a holiday. It'd be good to see around Sydney and whatever, but I don't know. Australia's not really on the top of my list, to be honest, but I would probably go at some point. Hello, Erebus. Erebus. I mean, how you doing? Hope you're well. Hello, Heaven. Space lover. Well, it's actually, I think it's raining outside. Or it was. It's kind of miserable outside right now, so not really much to go out for right now. I see the same Google cybersecurity employees on YouTube every day, so I don't get lonely. Oh, fair enough. I've never been to Australia now. Erebus. Alright. I was thinking of a thing called is it called? I don't know. Anyway. Okay. Maybe I was thinking of cerebral. I don't know, but yeah. Oh yeah, people saying Thailand, what's it, why Switzerland? What's the USA? Or mine, what are yours? Good question. I'd like somewhere tropical probably, but the thing is, like I was saying the other day, a lot of people want to move to places like Thailand, Philippines, but I'm not sure if I could deal with it. There's so many like bugs and stuff there. Yeah, I don't know. Been here for life and not used to the heat. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, it'd be different. But we don't really get that level of heat here. But it's just I don't want to be dealing with like, creepy like bugs, and you could get things like snakes, scorpions over there and stuff like that. I don't know if I want to be dealing with all that really. I don't know. Well, that's good then, Ghost. Real estate is cheap. Yeah. That's the thing. It's like that's why a lot of people move there. It's so cheap to live there in Thailand and whatever. Spiders the size of your head. No thanks. Yeah, that's another one as well. Nah. Do I play any video games? Not anymore. We used to. Oh yeah, crocodile, python, sharks, all that. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you got all these different creatures there that we don't really get here. We're kind of lucky in some ways here. A lot of people complain about the UK, but there is some benefits to being in the UK as well. That we don't tend to deal with extreme weather that much. There are some places that have had some extreme weather, but Kyle Johnson. Alright, you're not related to Boris Johnson, are you? Hope you're having a good day, people, anyway. Oh, I don't know, there was some fugitive or something. Alright. Oh, goodness. Well, that's not good that you had to kill it. No, that's not good. A lot of anxiety. Only thing you have is bees, cows, and dogs. There is the adder. Isn't adders like Are they hang on. Let's have a look. But it says, others very fatal to... It says there's been 14 recorded deaths in Britain since 1876. But yeah, that's it really. Is that the same as Viper or something? Or are they the same thing or something? Some call it Viper or something. Yeah, we alright people. New South Wales. Snakes in Parliament, yeah, that's where you find them all, isn't it, in Parliament, yeah. Well, it's called Viperidae, that's the name of the family or something. But apparently their venom's really poisonous too. Well, it's not like deadly that much apparently. King brown snakes, oh really, that's the thing, you get more deadly ones in Australia. It's like just, yeah, I don't want to be dealing with all that, you know. No thanks. Yeah, no thank you. Anyway, thank you for the likes everybody. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Black widow spider is nasty in Australia. Oh yeah, I've heard about black widow. Yeah. Isn't that the one where they eat the male spider or something, if I remember? That's why they call it being widowed when you've, you know, when a woman marries a guy and then he dies, then she's called a widowed. And then if the woman dies, he's called a widower. Hi Roblox, I'm doing fine, thank you. How are you doing? A boa constrictor. Are they dangerous or not? I'm guessing they're not. Because people have them as pets, don't they? Boa constrictor or something. How you doing anyway? And you? Is Emily off now? Hang on. Oh, you're saying be safe. Hang on. What's going on? Oh, they're very friendly. They are very big. They are very big like my pee-pee. My snake is very big. It's very tremendous. I got a huge snake in my trousers. Hello Roblox. What's that? Oh yeah, that's not a knife. This is a knife. That was a Mandela effect, apparently, wasn't it? Has anyone heard of the Mandela effect? Well, it's like it's not quite the same as. Well, people will remember it as that's not a knife. This is a knife. But I think it's slightly different if I remember. It's like when people remember on, on Dirty Harry where it goes, do you feel lucky, well do you punk, but it's actually not the same as that. It's like if you listen to it back, a lot of people, they remember the wrong thing and then that gets into like mass consciousness where it's like the wrong version of it. Like when it's like life is like a box of chocolates. But it's actually life is like a box of chocolate. There's no S at the end. What's something about that? Yeah. But there's people who come up with crazy theories on the Mandela effect about saying that there's two different universes colliding, and that's why some people experience different things. But it's like usually the simplest explanation is usually the correct one. like it's called Occam's razor. You know, the simplest explanation with the least amount of assumptions is usually the one that's the correct one. Like if you're having to like assume that there's some kind of other universes going on that are colliding, then that's a bit that sounds like some BS. Hi, I'm a human. How you doing? Hi, Joshua. Hope you're well today, everybody. Quagmire. Giggity, giggity. Hi there, Glenn. Oh, hi there. Oh, hi there, Herbert. What do you think of Chris? I think Chris is a fine young man. Yeah, I don't think that way, Herbert. Giggity, giggity. Still pulling the others in. Oh, we got another one. Oh, hello, Wilskbom. How you doing? What's going on with... Yeah, hello, James Maynard Moreland. Reminds me of James... What's it called? Maynard Keenan. The guy from Tool. There's a band called Tool. Has anyone heard of them? Or if you're in Australia, have you heard of a band called Carnival? There's a band called Carnival from Australia. They're a bit like Tool. Like, yeah, they're a bit like proggy kind of band. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but yeah. Just thought I'd mention that. Tool, yeah, James Maynard Keenan. Yeah, that's Carnival. It's spelled Karnivool. Carnival. Yeah, they're a bit like Tool. If you're into Tool, you might like them. Yeah. Anyway, I remember someone like showing me like a while ago, and yeah, I listened to a couple of their songs. Have you heard of me and I'm the guy disguised as a dude playing another person? What do you mean? The hell's going on here? What's going on? We'll suss it out, okay. Respect to Aussies who live with those animals. Well, yeah, it can be quite... Yeah, lots of snakes and lots of, scorpions and... yeah, it's bloody awful, mate. The Mandingo effect. Not the Mandingo effect, the Mandela effect. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about there, but there's lots of like ones like the what is it? The Monopoly guy having a monocle when he's never had one, like things like that. But I think maybe people were getting it confused with something else. Sometimes people might confuse similar things and they remember that having that feature, but it didn't. Wasn't there the thing with the C-3PO supposedly having a golden leg or something like that, whatever it was, and turned out that was never the case or something? Or hello Seg, how you doing? Hope you're well today. Your girl from Canada got attacked and killed by dingoes the other week. Dingoes? What's that again? It was silver or something. What silver? Oh yeah, silver leg. Is that the one? It might be silver, and the rest was gold or something. I don't know. Whatever it was. I just remember there was supposedly one with a different color. Andrea, yeah. Mr. Peanut, yeah. So that's what people were confusing that with. The Mr. Peanut guy, yeah, that was it. But they thought that it's easy to confuse when they look kind of similar. That's, I think, where a lot of these things come from. Yeah, it said you're going live tomorrow, is it? Andrea. Feral wild dogs. Oh, yeah. Yeah, those could be quite vicious, I'm guessing. Wild dogs. Yeah. But I've heard that wolves are not as dangerous as you might think or something. I don't know, like, I saw something about wolves and how they don't oftentimes attack humans unless they're feeling threatened or something. Same with gorillas, apparently. So I was looking into that last night, because I was looking into last night about, you know, the whole Africa situation with all the, like, starvation and all this kind of stuff going on, because I'm like thinking, why does it have to be that way? Surely they could maybe go to an area that's not so arid, but maybe it's not that simple, and they've got things that are stopping them, like maybe there's certain tribes that are kind of very territorial and things like that. And I mean, in some of those countries, things are very, you could say, backwards in that way, in terms of, you know, they're not very civilized in a lot of ways. They can be. So yeah, drowned by running away, getting attacked by them. So basically, caused by the dingoes, not technically, but the reason. Basically that. Yeah. Terrible, sad and cruel, what we're saying. Yeah. So it's just, there's a lot of like suffering in this world that I feel like is unnecessary, and this is why I think that, like, you know, that surely that if there was a loving God in this world, then they wouldn't allow such suffering to continue. That's just how I see it anyway. But what's this? I'd rather come across a bear in the wild than wolves. I've worked in the bush for years and also did a lot of backcountry camping. So wolves are something that you're afraid of, you mean? I've heard that they can attack humans, but that's if they feel threatened or something like that. But yeah, there's the wild animals that can be very scary. So like someone was saying about how there's been a lot of shark attacks in Australia and stuff like that, and yeah, you got to be careful with things like that. Not afraid, just the way. Fair enough. Thank you, Jay Biggs. Yeah. Little 23 Hex 1. Oh, I don't know who that is. Anyway, I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for the 19 likes. Oh, pit bulls. Oh, you've had pit bulls run away in fear of you. Yeah, that sounds like the overly manly man meme, if anyone's ever seen that one. Yeah. Like, there was one where it goes, what is it? Throws a hand grenade, kills 50 people, then the grenade explodes. It's just like, yeah, there was these memes like, bulletproof vest, you mean my rib cage, stuff like that. It was a meme called Overly Manly Man, where it's this really, like, you know, sort of strong manly guy who's like, yeah, this, you know what I mean? Okay, Tully. Do you have an opinion on immigration? I mean, I have no problem with, like, the legal stuff, but it's when you've got all these illegals coming in and there's like, yeah. But apparently, right, well, my dad was warning me something, actually, that at night time, apparently, because there's this hotel in York where they're staying at, and there's apparently between 400 and 500 of them in a fucking hotel, and they're like, yeah. So they're all staying in this hotel, and they're, well, I mean, like, apparently they can be quite dodgy people, some of them. Like, you've got to be careful. I've heard there's been muggings happen. Like, so you've got to be very careful when round there, is what he was saying, because there's been reports of that shit happening. So yeah, there's some of these people that are coming in illegally. It's like, why are we allowing these people to stay in this country? It's like, they've come in illegally, and the country's like not doing it. They're actually putting them up in hotels, which, well, who's funding that? The taxpayer, of course. So it's just yeah. So you can see why people are frustrated at the whole situation. Why are we putting people up that are, you know, these they're all, almost all of them, military age men. And yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Yeah. What you're saying, you have a check every 6 months. What's this? Hi, Seversea. How you doing? Like throwing passports into the sea. Well, yeah, exactly, because, you know. Oh, we just happened to, like, lose the fucking passport. Yeah, fucking bullshit. You know, you didn't lose jack shit, did you? You just, you know, you threw it. Yeah. So convenient that they all lost their passports. Yeah, yeah. Or cab check, what was that for? Hang on. What, you stay in your bedroom 22 hours a day? Yeah. Why do you not, like, go out and stuff? Surely that can't... I mean, it's probably bad enough what I'm doing, but with what you're doing, it's like, that's a whole nother level of, yeah. Hello, Apple Tree. How you doing? You okay? Oh, you're a carer. So, like, what's the cab... You mean cab check? Can you explain what you mean? Joshua says, I've seen videos on YouTube of people exposing these hotels, and apparently these illegals have got buffets in them. Yeah, I've been hearing about, like, fucking... They're doing all kinds of stuff for these illegals. My dad was telling me that they've been even taking them out on trips and stuff, and this is, like... It's just outrageous what this government is doing. Oh really? Jamie Brown, is that for real? Or are you just pulling my leg? They get their own GP visiting them. It's mad, isn't it? You know, it's like some of them are literally living better lives than people who are like working all week. It's just not fair, is it? So like, no wonder they're all coming over here, right? And you know what I mean? I don't blame them for coming over here and just taking advantage of the system, because the system is one that is, you know, it's like, because it's like the land of milk and honey to them people, isn't it, you know? I know it is, it's crazy, isn't it? It's basically checking you have no criminal record, right? Yeah. It's just mad, isn't it? Yeah, exactly, whereas the kids and women, like if they're coming over genuinely and they were, or they just happened to lose their passport, which is just bullshit, I think. Yeah. It's, I don't know, it's just mental. Because you get all these, like, do-gooders that are like, oh, they're fleeing war-torn countries. I mean, like, in some odd instance, that might be the case. But I don't think that most of the time that is really the case, is it? Like, they are coming as, like, economic migrants. And the thing is, right, there was people sort of, like, saying something about how they're getting their jewellery taken from them. But if that's to pay for all this fucking bullshit, then I think they should, to be honest. Like, I don't care. It's like, if you're coming over here and you expect to be put up in a fucking hotel, then yeah, they should have their fucking jewellery fucking taken as a way to kind of fund that. But I think that it shouldn't even be fucking funding this bullshit in the fucking first place, you know? It's yeah, the literally, I think it's Stay City is called, in York. Apparently there's between 400 and 500 of them, all staying there. Like, the worst is when they try to change the culture of the country they arrive in. Well, that's the thing, is that people are concerned because, you know, like, what if, say, because I know some people are talking about cultural, like, kind of, what do you call it, replacement or something like that. That's where things could get quite dodgy. You know, it's like, because we look at in terms of like demographics and stuff and how, you know, the projected trends of that. It's like things like, for example, Sharia law, which is, they're trying to say, oh, you know, that's not going to happen or whatever. And I mean, really? Is that really the case? I mean, is that really what we're going to believe in?
I mean, that that they would never try to like overthrow the current law system, whatever this country, and have it for their own benefit. Of course, that's never going to happen, is it? Never ever going to happen in a million years, right? That there's going to be that's going to, it's never going to happen that they would ever overthrow it. It's just never ever going to happen because somebody said so. You know what I mean? Some do leave what? Sorry, hang on. What's that? Some at Cresta Hotel near me, right? What are you saying that some leave and go? Where do they go then if they leave? Yeah, so anyway. Where do they leave to then? Well, yeah. Well, there is that. Because you got like some of these people who, they go and do a bunch of bullshit, but it's like, what happens if they then commit crimes then? What happens to them then? Because they don't just deport them right away, do they? But things really need to change, and I think that I'm just feeling like things would have to get really bad to a point where people would actually stand up, is what I was saying about people are just, people would have to like, things would have to get really bad. I mean, you could say there was that Southport thing, and then but that was like an irrational response, in my opinion. But how bad do things have to get before any actual real change happens to the system? Hello, mouses, houses. Nations are changing. What do you mean nations are changing? How are they changing? I'd say changing for the worse in some ways. Yeah. Hang on. Someone's just messaged me. Hang on, just need to message somebody. Someone's supposed to be coming round, so... Right. What's this? Chelsea, they were business partners who unalived each other with a single carving knife in a locked office while the restaurant... Oh, God. We are standing up now, but Starmer is the worst politician ever. Who's standing up, though? It's like... People are just not really, like, doing much, though. They're not being held accountable, are they? I mean... I think people need to probably do more to try and come together and just try and put the differences aside, because what I would say is that, yeah, it's just crazy. You've got all this fucking stuff on free speech and all that, and where someone can get put in jail over a tweet, which is insane. It's like, I mean, yeah, I don't know about Tommy. I feel like Tommy's a, traitor. Tommy the traitor. That's how I see him, because he seems to be more interested in, kind of getting money off Israel and just kind of pushing Zionism or something, instead of actually being interested in the people of this country. That's how I see it anyway. But everyone's got their own opinion on that, and some people think he's great, but I don't. But yeah, so we'd probably have to agree to disagree. Freedom of speech. Well, we don't have it. At least in America, they still have that. First Amendment. First Amendment in the Constitution in America is free speech. So like, we don't have that. Then we used to have a thing called a Magna Carta, but we don't even have that. We just have, You know, we have no written in stone constitution that protects civil liberties. Hello, gaming with Christ. How you doing? Hope you're well. There's nothing to protect like our civil liberties or anything. So I used to like Tommy, but after watching the interview with Tommy and the rabbi, he was disrespected, and Tommy laughed it off. Who was disrespected? You're on about the rabbi was disrespected. Is that what we're talking about? Or are you talking? Who was disrespected? Hang on. Who are you talking about? You'll just need good governance, not extreme right or extreme left. I think that things should be more decentralized, personally. Like things need to be more. Things need to be more decentralized, more about kind of what the actual people of the country want rather than what the government decides for us. That's where the problem is, when these tyrants can make decisions. But yeah, that's Hello, Thunder Pigeon. How you doing? Hi Jeng, how you doing? If anyone's new here, hit that subscribe button. That would be really appreciated. Thank you for the likes, everyone. We need a government that actually listens, but I don't really think that that's ever going to happen, to be honest. Because they always seem to be having other interests. Like, I've kind of come to realize that maybe government is inherently corrupt. Because unless it's some kind of decentralized thing where it's local and not on some kind of national level where they have way too much power. Like, basically, like, yeah. If you listen to someone like Mark Passio and he talks about, you know, like, basically, a government should only be there to, like, if we are to have a government, then it's only there to do what the people want it to do. That's all they're there to do. They have no authority over us. You know, no masters, no slaves. That's the motto, right? No masters, no slaves, basically. So, yeah. Government must obey the people. Yeah, that's how it should be, really. Yeah. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Oh, hang on, my camera's gone a bit funny. Need to wipe it down, I think. So, just, there we go. Brown nose in Trump, okay. Oh, good. Hello, Porky. Yeah, it's a bit porky out there, isn't it? Hello, Evoir X or L. Well, if you don't like it, then just put you know, just don't recommend. You know, put do not recommend. You can literally like do a thing where it'll say do not recommend this channel, and it'll stop showing up for you. It's as simple as that. If you don't like that I keep popping up, just do that, okay? So just shut your fucking mouth and do that, you know? If you don't like it, then just do not recommend this channel. Then you won't get recommended this channel anymore. You know what I mean? You can do that, right? Anyway, slowly people are realizing it was never about no religion or no left or right. It was always about class. The top versus bottom, exactly. That's what it is. It's not about left versus right. It's about top versus bottom. The top 1% versus the bottom 99%. You know. Hello from Cape Town. How you doing? I hope you're well. But yeah, I've heard in those countries they have some problems as well. In South Africa, they've got some issues with what's it called, persecution or something. I'm able to go live soon, thank you. Oh, cool. Let me know when you go live, and then I can come over and maybe hang out or something. So basically, so just looking at like the definition of anarchy. So hang on a second. I just need to try and. It's typical. There's always something. Yeah. Right. I'll just have to like tell them my address, sort of thing. Bear with me a second. Right, there we go. Sorry about that. So, yeah, is everyone okay? We've got 22 people in here. What we're saying, Hinduism, old and multi-god, is still practiced by almost 1.5 billion people, while other similar religions vanished by one god. Good question. Yeah, I'm in York. Yeah, where are you from? Yeah, so just looking at the terms of like, etymologically it means no, without rulers, focusing on the absence of state authority and coercion, not necessarily the absence of organization. Opposition to government. Anarchism opposes the state's monopoly on violence, hierarchical systems, and forced authority. Alternatives to government. Anarchist theory proposes that services usually provided by the state can be managed through voluntary associations, direct democracy, and cooperative self-managed systems. Then we've got administration versus government. Anarchists distinguish between administration, cooperative management of tasks, and government, delegation of power to a ruling class. Examples of anarchist organization include community mutual aid groups, decentralized networks, and historical, albeit sometimes temporary, examples such as Catalonia during the Spanish Civil War. So, what about most people are sheep? What are you saying about Assis, Charles? Again, if we know it's top B bottom, why are we going after asylum seekers? Well, that's a question. But it's not that we are going after asylum seekers. Asylum seekers is a symptom of the problem, I would say. It's a symptom of a broken system that, no, I'm not sending location. There's 2.2 billion Christians, well that is true, yeah. Isn't Christianity the biggest religion, or one of, I mean, well it's just on this AI overview, what Google's come up with. Google Gemini, I think it is, or whatever it is. Anyway, is it Gemini or whatever it is, just the AI overview. Yeah, so like I said, I don't blame people for wanting to come over to the country and get benefits from it. I don't blame them for wanting to do that if they're getting, you know, all these things and
what you on about? I mean, but what I'm saying is that there's people who are from this country who have worked their whole life just to only scrape by. So it just sounds like you're just here to try and, like, there's literally getting given a fucking smartphone. Like, it's just, like, what rights do they have to even fucking be here? It's just, this country needs to fucking, the government is just fucked. Like, I mean, I can't be like, kind of, arguing with people like this because they're clearly just trying to come in here to, like, antagonize, you know? Yeah, it's the fucking truth, it's, you know?
Yeah. Like, they're just here to try and, oh, you say it's top v bottom, but it's like I said, I'm not here to attack on anyone in particular, but silent seekers. What I'm saying is that, you know, why are they being prioritized? Why should taxpayer money be being used to fund them? What rights do they have in a country they don't even fucking belong, is what I'm saying. So it's not that I'm going after them, it's just, anyway, oh no, if asylum seekers come to a country, they need to respect that country's beliefs. You can't bring your own and force your beliefs on them, exactly. So I just think these people are either that fucking brainwashed and just kind of, or they're just trying to just piss people off because it's like they're trying to get, like, do an I got you moment. I think that's what they're trying to do. I can see what these people are trying to do. It's like they're trying to do, oh, you said it's top v bottom, but now you're saying this. It's like trying to say that I don't know, trying to make me out to be some hypocrite or something. It's like I'm not going after asylum seekers. I mean, why do none of them have fucking passports and shit? If they're actually just genuinely, like, you know, just, it's all just like they're trying to come into the country illegally. It's like, well, why should they be given anything in that case? You could argue that there's people who need housing who are not even getting it, but yet they're putting these people up. There's something clearly wrong with that. Well, no, UK is just a joke, isn't it? I mean, it's like, yeah, it's just all, it's all become a joke. I mean, you've got these people that oftentimes half of them don't even properly speak English. They don't integrate properly, a lot of them. But like I said, I don't blame them for trying to come in and, you know, just try and leech, you know. Humans are opportunist creatures, and oftentimes they'll just try and get whatever they can. You know what I mean? But it's just, we have to put our people first, and clearly they're not doing that. And I think a lot of it comes down to just like, if they don't do all that, then they're going to get kind of, you know, like all these people that vote for, like, these people, that they will not vote for them anymore if they're like, if they're gonna do this, then I'm not gonna vote for Labour anymore, whatever. It's like, so you could say that they feel like they have to in a way, but I don't know. But you could argue that I don't know what is I don't know what they're playing at really necessarily, but it could just be that they're worried about losing votes. Or is it deeper than that? Some people reckon that it's something deeper going on, and there's some kind of deeper motive as to why there's all these people coming in. So I don't know what you guys think. Is there some deeper, why everyone hate in the UK? I mean, I don't hate the UK. I just don't like what it's become with, like, I don't know. It's just, everywhere's got its problems, but UK used to be a very thriving place, and look what it's become, you know? Like, it's, I don't know. Like there's just trash everywhere. It's just kind of disgusting in some places. Yeah, it's the politicians. It's like they are the ones that are responsible. Like they are literally being paid to like do a job, and they're not even doing it. They're just abusing their authority to like be like, oh well, if you say, you know, that such a thing on a tweet, then you can get put in jail for that, or whatever else that they've been doing. Like when Keir Starmer came in, and then they were trying to cut off people's allowances. Like, so there was cut off allowances, that they were trying to do that, weren't they? Where they would cut off allowances for like elderly disabled people. Well, why don't you just fucking stop, you know, giving all this to like, you know, like these illegals, you know? So you would rather prioritize some illegals over vulnerable elderly people. It's just, that's what they were doing at start, weren't it, you know? If you remember that, but then they kind of stopped all that, didn't they? Because there was a lot of, you know, uproar. There was, I guess, in some ways, it's good when people, you know, have actually reacted in some way, but there's still a lot of work to do on, you know what I mean? It's like there's, you know, people are getting screwed over. People's wages are fuck all now compared to like the inflation rate. It's like, when is it time that people are going to say enough's enough? It's time to stand up and not accept it. Because I don't think, like, I mean, you get things like strikes and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, a lot of these people that are doing strikes are kind of, a lot of the people that probably shouldn't be on them anyway. It's like, a lot of them are kind of like quite entitled actually. But yet, the ones who are actually at the bottom, struggling, they're usually the people that you don't see on strikes and actually really rebelling. It's usually some kind of middle class kind of people who are entitled, I guess. I could be wrong with that, but like, obviously it depends on each individual, but it's like you get some of these, you know, like middle kind of class sort of people who are on, you know, decent-ish sort of money, and they're like complaining. Well, shouldn't it be the people at the bottom who are only just scraping by, that they should be the ones really kind of standing up, I would say. Hello, Flashpoint, how you doing? So, yeah, give them an inch and then they take a mile. Yeah, that's what it is, you know. They have to be kept in check. But the thing is that, will they ever be though? Because they'll just do whatever they can get away with, and then backpedal once it becomes too much pressure. But what I'm saying is, if we actually abolish the state as it is and just kind of have certain non-governmental organisations and voluntary, sort of like voluntary organisations that run society, then it would be run by the people for the people, not by some kind of top-down authority. Because once they bring something into law, it can be quite hard to get it out of law. You know what I mean? It's like, they bring in some new law, then it's like, well, unless there's enough uproar against it, then it doesn't change, basically. So it's better that we have, I mean, there might be, I don't know, I'm just thinking like about, you know, how should the system be run? Well, I think certain things like councils but I think it all should be done voluntarily, and it should be done using probably voluntary contributions, not through some forced taxation, in my opinion, because to me that is coercive, and some argue that taxation itself is theft because it is like, you know, basically, you could argue a violation of your, basically as in like, the work that you've done, you own that, so you own the profit that you make from that work. So why should you be forced to pay a percentage of that? And you could say, oh, but it needs to be to, you know, run the infrastructure and all that. But to me, it's like, well, what if I didn't consent to the whatever it's like? For example, you like trying to think of an example, like services that you don't use, but you're still paying for them anyway, sort of thing. Like if you're paying for like you know, certain services that you never use and then you should be getting like reduction on your tax at the very least. It's like, for example, you know, you get like car insurance, right? Everyone's forced to pay it. I mean, some argue that maybe that should be the case. But if you're a good driver and you can actually start getting discounts on it, and because if you're not using the insurance and you're not, you know what I mean, they're not claiming on your insurance and stuff like that, then you could argue that, like, why should you really keep on having to pay so much? Like, shouldn't the system incentivize people to actually, you know, basically to stop using all the... It's like, for example, what I don't agree with is things like, you could argue that, like with the NHS, is that if you don't use it so much, like, then you shouldn't pay as much into it. If you're somebody that's quite reckless, and like, for example, you go out drinking, you end up in some kind of stupid situation, then that should be your responsibility, in my opinion, right? Like, or if you get into some stupid accident doing something and you weren't careful, maybe then you should have to pay for that. Like, why is it society's responsibility to pay for that? I believe in individual responsibility, and therefore that's why I believe taxation I don't really agree with forcing everyone to all pay the same amount of tax, and like, it should be down to your own, you know, what is it that you want and need from the system that'll determine, like, you know, your contribution into the system or something, is how I see it. But I don't know what you guys think really, but it's because let's say if I never ever hardly even use the NHS, or somebody else for that matter, or whatever, if somebody doesn't hardly ever use it and they're paying, let's say, you know, thousands of pounds every year into the NHS, and to just never even fucking use it, then that could be seen as like a waste. It's like, why are they paying for it when someone else who, in some cases, people who have paid less into the system, who are constantly getting into, you know, breaking their bones that could have been avoided because they were reckless, you know? Like, I see it as like, well, if you've made mistakes in life, it's up to you to pick up those pieces. It shouldn't be up to society to, like, bail you out, in my opinion. It's like when the banks got bailed out by the government for, like, you know, back in the 2008 financial crash. But it's like, I would argue that if these companies knew that they were going to get bailed out, they probably wouldn't have made such reckless decisions leading up to that. Because I think that's what a lot of it came down to, was, oh, well, we can just do what we want because even if we go down, the government's just going to bail us out anyway. So that meant that they took a lot of risks that they shouldn't have. And that's what happened. Hello, Stars Elites. So, yeah, so this is my point, is that we're living this kind of, what do they call it, nanny state, whatever, and government bailing out people who probably shouldn't be bailed out. You know, if you've, you know, it's like it's up to you to be responsible for your own. Now, some might argue, well, if the banks weren't going to get bailed out, then that could have had really massive effects on the economy as a whole. But if they knew that they weren't going to get bailed out, then they probably wouldn't do reckless things, is what I would say. That's my opinion on it anyway. That the 2008 financial crash could have probably been avoided. And I just feel like it's probably some kind of thing that was by design. Because didn't a lot of big companies actually benefiting from these sort of things? Maybe it was all designed to crash. Someone was saying that every so many years a financial crash happens. Like we had the back in the winter of discontent when, hang on a second, winter of discontent with before Thatcher, but you voted out the EU. Calisthenics, yes, calisthenics is good, yeah. Yeah, calisthenics is about kind of, some might say it's good for like mind-muscle connection because it forces you to try and make the exercise as challenging as possible. You focus on form and technique, whereas when you're using weights, you're kind of like, as long as you're training with a heavy enough weight, then you kind of just, that's what a lot of people are relying on, is the heavy weights and stuff. But when they're doing calisthenics, it forces you to try and actively make it as hard as you can. Thank you, Red Bull. Jerry, it makes you think, doesn't it? They're illegal immigrants. They're coming over illegally. Why wouldn't they be put into a military prison in our country instead of a hotel military barracks? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it, you know. Like, they should say, like, if you don't have a passport and you can't prove where you've come from or something, then we'll put you in jail or something. Because if they did that, then maybe less of them would actually come over in the first place, you know? So that's what we'll talk about with my dad. That's a way that they could actually deal with it. But someone was saying something about supposedly that NATO has something to do with this, and whilst we're still in NATO, there's not much we can do about it or something. Yeah, push-ups are good, but you can do different variations. Not so much biceps. I've seen that there's the I think it's the pseudo planche push-up, which I believe does work the biceps in like an isometric way. Let me have a look. The pseudo planche. Some people talk about turning your wrists round, but yeah, pseudo planche push-ups. But yeah, let me have a look. But I would say that you want to try and do more direct bicep work where you're using, maybe you could do like bicep curls under a bar or some gymnastics rings or something like that. There are ways to work your biceps through that. But yeah, hello DD. But yeah, it says here about pseudo planche push-ups significantly increase bicep activation compared to standard push-ups by using a severe forward lean to create a near locked out elbow, putting the bicep under intense stabilization tension. While not the best for pure hypertrophy compared to curls, they are effective for building strong injury resistant biceps and tendons for calisthenics. So they might have more like carryover for like calisthenics and gymnastics stuff. Thank you, Cameron. Okay, what the hell? So, hi DD, how you doing? Hope all is well. Nice to meet you all. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. Yeah. But yeah, pseudo planche push-ups are apparently quite a good, well, they're not the best, like I said, but they can be a good accessory for, but yeah, I think pelican curls are supposed to be good for biceps, for gymnastics as well, doing, where you would kind of like, if you look up pelican curls, they're another way to do them with body weight. They're a bit similar to, there's a weighted version that some people do where they're in this kind of position where they're kind of they're leaning forward, and then kind of, so you would normally do them on you would use a bench, and you would be leaning, and you would be kind of going like, doing it like this, so you'll be kind of, if I remember it correctly, you would be kind of doing it in that sort of, so it's all about, you know, kind of hitting it at different angles but if you're a beginner, you don't really need to worry too much about that. But flash points is exactly, yeah. Hang on a sec. Are the person here or something? Right. I don't know. Hang on a sec. Is this person at my place right now? Yeah, right. They're here. I'll just have to get off. I'll be back in a bit, guys. So everybody, take care. Just got somebody here at the moment. So yeah. See you in a bit.